Why Jamie? That is one of the many questions we're hoping is answered later today as the man accused of kidnapping her is in court for the first time.
And the president is talking with farmers today about how the longest government shutdown ever is affecting them.
This is News 3 This Morning.
Good morning and welcome to News 3 This Morning. It's 6 o'clock now on this Monday, January 14th, but it looks a little bit more like March to me out there.
Yeah, there's almost kind of a spring feel.
Yeah.
Temperatures are in the 20s right now, which is cold, but it could be a lot worse this time of the year. Certainly doesn't feel like January either. Take a look at your first alert weather forecast this morning. We're looking live from the WISC-TV sky cam towards the east. A lot of clouds in place in the eastern sky this morning, so it doesn't look like we're going to see much of a sunrise there. There is some clearing, though, to our north, so some hope that we'll see at least a little bit of sunshine for a short time this morning. A lot of clouds off to the north, though, so any sun is going to be short-lived today. Here's a look at our temperatures over the next 12 hours. We'll climb from the mid-20s this morning back into the low 30s this afternoon. Technically above normal for this time of the year. Your first alert traffic maps this morning are still looking pretty quiet, although at this hour we do start to typically see some brake lights showing up on the Beltline right around Stoughton Road, and we're seeing that this morning. No accidents though around the area, so drive times in from the surrounding communities still looking good at this hour.
A lot of ski hills working overtime because Mother Nature's not helping them out with that snow.
No, definitely not. At least it's been cold enough that they can still make the snow.
Yeah,
That's true. Thank you, Hattie.
You're welcome.
we want to start this hour with the man accused of kidnapping a 13-year-old girl and holding her against her will for nearly 3 months. He will be in court for the first time today. 21-year-old Jake Patterson also faces 2 first-degree murder charges for allegedly killing Jamie Kloss's parents the day she was abducted. We also expect a criminal complaint this afternoon that could shed some light on what Jamie went through and why she was targeted. Authorities say Jamie escaped from a home in Gordon about 65 miles north of her hometown in Barron. Police say very few full-time residents live there. The Barron County Sheriff says Patterson has no prior criminal record, and investigators say they're still looking into any possible connections between him and the Kloss family. His lawyers have not said whether their client has admitted to the crimes.
And you can almost hear Barron breathe for the first time in months.
After 3 months of prayers, folks up in northern Wisconsin are celebrating Jamie's homecoming. Next Sunday, Jamie's home church, St. Peter's in Cameron, Wisconsin, is holding a faith celebration for her. Just down the road at the First Lutheran Church of Barron, Jamie's classmate tolled the bell there in honor of her this weekend. Just one of many who are finding hope in her return.
Onto it.
I believe it's a message to us here in Barron and our people all over. You can't overestimate the power of prayer.
New this morning, we're hearing more from the family of Jamie Kloss after her first couple days at home.
That's right. Josh Breiter is here with more from those relatives. Good morning, Josh.
Good morning, ladies. It was Jamie Kloss's first weekend home in nearly 3 months. Now, Jamie's family is talking with CBS this morning about how she's doing so far. We got our first images of Jamie Kloss sitting comfortably at home over the weekend. Other than her very own family, her dog Molly was Jamie's love. You see her here smiling with the pooch and Aunt Jennifer, her godmother. Jamie's grandfather has also told us Jamie is in exceptionally good spirits. Only CBS This Morning's Gail King sat down with more of Jamie's family, where we're hearing from some of them for the very first time, including another one of Jamie's aunts, Lynn.
It's like you're covered in goosebumps. You're so excited. You can't breathe. You can't think. I don't even know how to describe it. We've all been wearing Jamie bracelets, the green. Jamie home. And we all took them off and threw them in the kitchen. It was like, we've got her. We don't have to wear our bracelets. And you just feel lighter. You just feel so unbelievable.
While Jamie Kloss is now reunited with her family, she still has a long road ahead of her, both in her own recovery and in helping investigators build a case. Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald made it very clear that his focus was letting Kloss settle in with her family first before getting more details for investigators. CBS News is reporting this morning that Sheriff Fitzgerald did sit down with Jamie last night. We'll hear more from him about that conversation and also more of Gail King's interview with Jamie's family coming up live from Barron on CBS This Morning at 7. Those interviews still just giving me goosebumps,
gosh,
just chills.
absolutely.
Yeah, all morning we've been talking about the faith that family and that whole community had to have had. I mean, Danica, you saw that firsthand up there on Friday.
Yeah, it was pretty unbelievable just talking to people. They didn't lose hope. I mean, some of them thought the worst at times, but you really kind of felt that a big sigh of relief, as we kind of just heard too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Almost 3 months. It's just
Unbelievable.
unbelievable.
Looking forward to that CBS This Morning interview. Josh Breiter reporting for us. Thank you, Josh.
And along with that national coverage this morning, Susan and Mark will bring you live coverage of Patterson's first court appearance set for 3:30 this afternoon. That will run live here on News 3 and also over on channel3000.com. Keely Arthur will be back in Barron with the latest on the case throughout the day.
6:05 your time now. The president is heading down to Louisiana this morning to talk with farmers there who've been impacted by the ongoing government shutdown. That shutdown now on day 24 is the longest in U.S. history. Some 800,000 government employees missed their first paycheck just last Friday. 380,000 workers are furloughed, while another 420,000 are heading into work this morning without compensation. Meanwhile, over on Capitol Hill, legislators and the president will be back at work negotiating border funding at the center of that shutdown. There is a local hospice facility here in Madison that's hoping to offset a nationwide nursing shortage impacting its employees with help from the community. At a Grace Hospice Care, volunteers do everything from greeting visitors to office and computer work to helping out with the meals there. They're especially important since the American Nursing Association says the shortage of registered nurses is only expected to intensify as baby boomers get older and the need for more health care grows. A Grace calls their volunteers the backbone of that organization. They're hoping to recruit some more of them.
Our volunteers come from many different walks of life, have many different interests and reasons why they're getting involved, but they all have kind of this heart of service and wanting to give back in whatever way they may choose to do so.
A Grace volunteers work directly with hospice patients and their families across Dane County and the surrounding area. This afternoon, the organization is holding a volunteer training. You can learn more information about that opportunity and more like it over on channel3000.com.
So we have 2 more games before Super Bowl 53 right here on News 3. And on the AFC side, the Kansas City Chiefs will host the Patriots next weekend. It was the one fan's act of kindness, though. They got a Chiefs lineman actually to the game on Saturday. Dave Cochran is homeless, but when 8 inches of snow fell before kickoff, he was out in his old Chevy Suburban moving cars that were stuck. There was one, though, that made him a little bit nervous. It was a brand new 2019 BMW. Little did he know offensive lineman Jeff Allen was behind the wheel. Allen tweeted about Cochran helping him out, and therefore his phone was just ringing off the hook for the rest of the day. Here's the kicker, though. Allen is now hooking him up with 3 tickets to this weekend's championship game.
Wow, what a story.
How awesome is that? And
Good
yeah,
for him.
I would be nervous about a BMW. I think anybody would be. And then you learn, oh, this might be an important person behind the wheel too. So there you go.
Good story there. All right, 6:08 your time now. While kiddos can have a difficult time figuring out how to fit in at school, there's a group of middle schoolers who know the best way to go is just being yourself. We're going to share their wise advice as part of our BU campaign.
We'll be lucky to see a sliver of sun this afternoon. Hattie says has seasonably warm temperatures around freezing today for the highs and some freezing rain possible overnight. Her first alert forecast is next right here on News 3 This Morning.
Good morning from the Hattie-O patio. On this Monday morning, we waked pretty quiet weather across the area and relatively mild temperatures once again. It was a near miss for southern Wisconsin with a major snowstorm tracking across the central part of the country over the weekend, and you can really see the path of that storm in the snow depth that we have this morning. What's notable, though, is that nearly every major city in the Midwest has snow on the ground right now, except Madison and Milwaukee. Central and southern Wisconsin are very, very bare as far as snowfall is concerned so far this winter. Still looking at bare ground for much of the state, and not a whole lot happening to change that over the next couple of days. There is a little bit of snow showing up on the radar map in northern Minnesota, just now getting into the UP. That's a weak cold front that will just brush the state overnight tonight. Now, we do have a chance for a little bit of light freezing drizzle with that front, but that's about it. Here in southern Wisconsin, we'll have mainly quiet and dry conditions through the day. It's a southerly wind this morning, and it stays from the south through the day today, so still relatively mild. If there is any sunshine today, it will be in the morning because clouds roll back in for the afternoon. There's that patchy precipitation overnight, and again, it would be in the form of freezing drizzle here in southern Wisconsin. Otherwise, for Tuesday, we return to quiet weather conditions. Here's a look at your almanac for the day. Normal high is 26, and that's about where we are this morning. Our forecast high is still in the 30s today, so a little bit above that. We've been holding steady at 26 for the last couple of hours here in Madison, and we're still there. It's 25 in the Dells, down to 22 in Platteville. Camp Douglas is a little chilly this morning as well, with 17 degrees. A light south wind around 5 miles per hour is enough to send some of those wind chills down into the teens, though, this morning. So here's a look at your future track forecast model. It is hinting at the chance for a little bit of clearing taking place this morning, but watch those clouds roll in for the afternoon. High temperatures will be in the lower 30s. A small chance for a little bit of freezing drizzle tonight with that cloud cover in place. Otherwise, tomorrow morning, we'll wake to temperatures in the mid-20s. Here's a look at your extended forecast. We stay in the 30s through most of this week. And if you're like me, wondering when we're really going to see the sunshine, I think Wednesday would be the best chance for that this week. Otherwise, a lot of clouds towards the end of the week. I am watching a potential storm system for Friday into Saturday. Right now, the models are all over the place, but there is at least a chance for some snow here in southern Wisconsin. Now it's time to get a peek at those first alert traffic maps this morning with Josh Tim. Good morning, Josh.
Yeah, it's a quiet start on the Beltline for the first commute of the work week. No delays showing up yet in either direction. Checking out some other roads here in Dane County, there are some brake lights on northbound Verona Road and Stoughton Road approaching the Beltline. No problems downtown and on campus. Volume not an issue at this point. And other routes heading into the city, they're cruising along at the usual speeds right now with no major crashes or delays. Your first alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Thank you, Josh, and thank you, Hattie. So whether it's on social media, in school, on the field, or at home, kids have a lot of expectations to live up to, and the pressure's coming from a lot of different places. That's why we are encouraging students to find ways to be you. We sat down with a group of middle schoolers at Savannah Oaks in Verona to get their take on the concept. Here's part of that conversation.
Find something that you love doing and find something that makes you feel like you have a purpose in the world. Because at the end of the day, that's what's most important.
My advice would be if someone is negative to you, I usually just laugh at them because one time that happened to me and I just laughed at them and then they never bothered me again. So
yeah, don't let them get you.
Exactly.
My thing was sometimes if you feel down about yourself, caring for others and helping out others actually will get your self-esteem up.
When you're gonna say something negative to a person, you have to think even though no one should ever, but you really have to think what if I was that person? How would I feel if someone would say that to me?
Yeah, you really have to flip the perspective and put yourself in someone else's shoes and before you say anything or do anything. Unless it's nice. If it's nice, then go for it.
Be yourself. Because if you're not yourself, you're just, you're just not yourself. And then you're just gonna be sad.
That'll make you the saddest,
Yeah.
I think. Just being someone that you're not.
Yeah.
Maybe it might take a while, but if you wake up every day and just have that confidence and say, okay, today is the day that I'm going to be me and I'm not going to care what anybody else thinks, then you could wake up and just feel greatness and then just go to school and be confident, or go to work, or just go the whole day with trying to be yourself and not caring about what anybody else says.
They get it.
I'm constantly impressed by how well versed and how thoughtful these kids are on very serious topics.
Yeah, and topics that we might not always think they have a full grasp of or control of.
Exactly.
I mean, we can barely keep track of, I don't know what's cool anymore on social media or whatever. You know what I mean?
no.
Like, so just the fact that they are aware of it is comforting to parents. You should be, moms, dads, you should be, encouraged by this.
Yeah, you should be inspired to have this whole conversation with your own kids because you are going to be really impressed with the things that they have to say.
Yes, and also you should be encouraging everybody. Here it is. Here's the
Yeah.
sign. Got to bring it out. This is our new campaign right here with Time to Talk. Be you. Hashtag be you. We really just want to take over social media with this message right here because it is so important for these kids to know that it's okay to be themselves and be confident in that. We have all the information up on the Channel 3000 Time to Talk page. That's at channel3000.com/time4kids. You want to share this. I mean, this is what it's all about. So make sure you log on, see what we're doing here, and share your own videos, pictures, whatever.
Exactly. So a lot of the people right here at the station are going to be taking part in this. We're going to share you what it means to be us and just the pressures that we go through as well. So stay tuned for our own stories right here at News 3.
Yeah, I would definitely encourage you to have a conversation with your kids about your own social media pages.
Yep.
It's really interesting to kind of self-reflect here and say, oh, how much am I myself on social media? How much of it is just putting out there the best of my life? And it's really interesting.
It's a learning lesson for everyone,
Yep.
even in middle school, high school, all the way up to, parents, folks our age.
Totally. Hopefully you can take part. Be you. Here we go. 6:19, almost your time right now, and a UW system school is working to get people of different backgrounds into classrooms in its community. We'll tell you how it is addressing or trying to address diversity issues and what help it is offering coming up.
And we're hanging into kind of milder, warmer weather for the next couple of days, but the cold is coming back. Addie's going to tell us when to expect single-digit temperatures, possibly for the first time in like a year, when News 3 This Morning continues.
Good morning. I'm meteorologist Hattie McLean. Mid-20s this morning if you're just waking up. As the kids head out the door, there is a little bit of a south wind, so wind chills this morning are in the teens to right around 20 degrees. So still a little chilly outside. After all, it is January. Temperatures are going to be a bit above normal today, though, with highs climbing back into the low 30s. Some sunshine possible this morning, but more clouds return for the afternoon. Have a wonderful day.
Hattie, thank you so much. So there's an effort at one UW Systems school to make sure teachers and school staff in that community are representative of the students who go there. The Department of Workforce Development awarded a grant to UW La Crosse for the Grow Your Own Teacher Diversity Program. That helps people from underrepresented backgrounds achieve their goals of becoming teachers, something the program's leader says is needed in La Crosse School District.
We certainly don't see enough diversity in our teaching population in La Crosse. The population of the community and the students in the schools are far more diverse than what we see in the teaching community, and this is actually true across the state and really across the nation.
The program is currently supporting 4 students from military, low-income, single-parenting, and multicultural backgrounds. The grant will also allow 2 teaching assistants in the district to join the program. Those TAs will get some help with paying tuition at UW La Crosse, as well as academic support from the School of Education there.
There is a woman from Madison who's being recognized for overcoming some serious barriers to get to her dream job. Shamar Allen is an honoree for the Wisconsin Job Honor Awards. She grew up on a farm, and when she was in middle school, she had to make the decision to euthanize her horse when he fell sick. She says that loss sent her on a downward spiral that affected her grades and ultimately led to involvement with drugs and alcohol. But she got herself back on track through the Workforce Development's Middle College program. She took her regular high school classes in the morning, then went to college in the afternoon and got an internship that led to a full-time veterinary assistant job. Here's a clip from her awards video.
It really gave me something to motivate myself to do better in my life. It really gave me an ultimatum, really, is either you can do this and excel and have college in your future, or you can do this and, you know, you go to high school the way you're going still, you probably won't end up going to college after that.
That's an amazing story right there. We want to take some time to congratulate Shamara. If you think your student might benefit from an alternative education plan, you can search Middle College on the Madison School District's website. Very cool story there.
Absolutely.
All right, 6:25 your time now. The suspect accused of kidnapping Jamie Kloss after killing her parents is in court for the first time today. We're going to have live coverage of that later on News 3 after CBS This Morning sits down with Jamie Kloss's family. We'll look ahead to that conversation next.
And starting this fall, firefighters in our area will have more training preparing them for risky scenes. We'll tell you more about that training when News 3 This Morning returns. They never lost hope, and now Jamie Kloss is home. We're hearing from the 13-year-old's relatives before the man accused of abducting her appears in court.
And if your neighbors or your own family members are still struggling with damage from last summer's flooding, there's a new program meant to help.
This is News 3 This Morning.
Good morning and welcome to the final half hour of News 3 This Morning. It is 6:29 now on this Monday, January 14th. Though I keep saying it does not look like January out there. No snow in sight. A little bit warmer, too, than what we're used to.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's turn it over to Hattie now on a very dry, I mean, you can still see the ground out on the patio, Hads. Come on.
So bare, so bare. There's not even any snow left here in the patio. And most of southern Wisconsin and central Wisconsin, for that matter. It's been a very quiet winter so far. Here's a live look from the WISC-TV Skycam. We have clouds in the Madison area this morning, but some areas are under clear skies early today. So there is a chance, at least for some of us, to get a little sunshine this morning. Clouds are pretty thick to the north, though, so they're going to move in for the afternoon. Any bit of sunshine isn't going to last too long today. Now, our temperatures are in the mid-20s across southern Wisconsin, with the exception of areas north of the Dells, which have been clear a little bit longer. Temperatures there are dropping into the teens. As you get ready to head out the door this morning, again, pretty quiet weather for us. No major precipitation in the area through the day today. High temperatures will still be a little bit above normal, hitting highs in the low 30s. You don't want that winter jacket, though, because 33 is still a little chilly. Here's a look at your first alert traffic maps this morning. We're not seeing any major delays on the major roads heading into Madison or on the Beltline in the downtown areas as well. Looks like travel on the interstate is still good, and all those major routes heading into the city. And that's your first alert traffic.
Thank you so much, Hattie. Court documents out later today could explain why a 13-year-old Wisconsin girl was abducted and what happened to her over the last 3 months or so. The man accused of kidnapping Jamie Kloss, 21-year-old Jake Patterson, will be in Barron County Court for the first time today. Now, Patterson also faces 2 first-degree murder charges for allegedly killing Kloss's parents the day she was abducted. We do expect a criminal complaint with more details about what happened to Jamie and why she was targeted. Authorities say she escaped from a home in Gordon, about 65 miles north of her hometown in Barron. The sheriff in that county says Patterson has no prior criminal record, and investigators say they're still looking into any connection between him and the Kloss family. His lawyers say they understand what this case means emotionally for their community.
He is in a single cell in the Barron County Jail, and his feelings are appropriate for the time and those circumstances. This is a tragic situation from every perspective. A lot of heavy hearts, a lot of thoughts and prayers going around.
Those public defenders wouldn't say whether their client has confessed to kidnapping Jamie and killing her parents.
We are also hearing new details from Jamie's family this morning after her first weekend home in nearly 3 months.
Josh Sprider joins us now with that part of the story this morning, and we just, every time we hear from the family, it's still as gut-wrenching as ever.
It is.
Goosebumps all around.
Yeah.
And this morning, Jamie's family is actually talking with CBS this morning about how she's doing so far after going through that unimaginable situation for 87 days. We got our first images of Jamie Kloss at home over the weekend. You see her here smiling with her dog Molly and Aunt Jennifer, who's been updating us pretty regularly on Facebook. Jamie's grandfather also said she was in exceptionally good spirits over the weekend. Only CBS This Morning's Gail King sat down with more of Jamie's family, where we're hearing from some of them for the very first time, including another one of Jamie's aunts, Sue Allard.
Tell us how you each heard that the news that she was okay, and your first thought when you heard that news, Sue?
My dad had to call my neighbor, and she comes screaming in my door. I'll never, ever forget her screaming, "Sue, Sue, they found Jamie."
CBS's Gail King will be live in Barron this morning with more from Jamie's family and also the dog walker who stumbled upon Jamie in the town of Gordon. All those interviews will air right after News 3 this morning on CBS This Morning starting at 7. CBS News is also reporting this morning that Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald met with Jamie last night. We expect to hear more from him on that later today. And you almost choke up when you hear that.
Yeah.
It's just every time, I just cannot imagine going through something like that. And it's going to be a step-by-step process for this family.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I know Sheriff Fitzgerald was talking a lot about, the recovery that Jamie's going to have to go through after this. Of course, just a traumatic situation, and we don't know exactly what happened to her yet. So a lot of details kind of to fill in here.
Yeah, and I don't know if you caught 48 hours over the weekend, but Elizabeth Smart was saying that this is a time for Jamie to move forward. You have to kind of let the past be the past and move forward. Otherwise, those things can kind of eat you up alive.
It's really tough, though, when a lot of people are still trying to figure out what happened here.
That's exactly right.
A process that will take years and months,
months
and years.
All right. Thank you, Josh. Appreciate it.
We will have live coverage of this afternoon's court appearance right here on WISC-TV and Channel 3000 starting at 3:30. Our Keely Arthur is going to be reporting live from Barron throughout the day. She's going to have the very latest right here on News 3.
6:34 right now, and the head of Wisconsin's Fire Chiefs Association says firefighters here in the state have some of the lowest requirements in the entire country when it comes to firefighter training. And to address that, Wisconsin Public Radio reports starting October 1st, firefighters will have to comply with new minimum training standards before they can head out to dangerous situations. The goal is to bring those requirements more in line with federal guidelines set by OSHA. Now, Wisconsin is currently the only state in the Midwest where every fire department does not adhere to those standards.
A group of Janesville residents says the YMCA there isn't cooperating with open records requests as they try and look into ethics concerns. Some of those people told News 3 last month they had their membership stripped and were banned from the gym after they started expressing concerns about the board's president unilaterally removing people from the board. The Janesville Gazette reports that group wants to see a more transparent board and sent a records request to the Y last week. But they say the records they got back were missing 3 years' worth of meetings minutes that they had requested. That group is now considering legal action.
Some of our neighbors are still dealing with the aftermath of this summer's flooding, and a program is still helping people through some of those issues. Project Recovery is run by a social services organization in Westby. It sends outreach workers to 9 different counties, including Dane and Sauk. They visit places like homes, churches, and schools to help people with lingering financial and emotional tolls that come with natural disasters.
You have a disaster, a flood, whatever the disaster is, and then you have what I sort of refer to as the slow-moving storm that chases it. And that becomes, it taxes people emotionally, physically, materially, and these things go on for many, many months and years after the immediate impact of the storm is felt.
Outreach workers can help with anything from finding resources to providing emotional support. If you'd like to contact Project Recovery for some help, we have all of the information up on channel3000.com. 6:36 right now. We are learning about more people here in the Madison area who are feeling the effect of the country's longest government shutdown ever. We'll have more on that in the morning sprint.
And UW-Madison research shows more women than ever are asking for higher salaries, but it's not paying off. We're going to share why when News 3 This Morning continues. Welcome back. I think we are all a little disappointed with the lack of snow in the forecast, but Judy Williams-Trimble, she's helping us out. She posted this picture on Facebook. This is of, I think, New Year's Day, so a little bit ago when we actually did have some of the white stuff. Gorgeous picture there. Thanks so much for sharing, Judy. What does your morning look like? Take a picture, post it on Facebook or on Twitter, and use the hashtag MyNews3Morning so Danica and I can find and share our favorites right here on the program.
UW-Madison researchers say more women than ever are asking for higher salaries, but they're still not getting a pay raise. The women's magazine Bustle reports on that research that found women now ask for raises at the same rate as men. However, they're still 25% less likely to get them. In the past, that gender pay gap was blamed on a woman's reluctance to ask for a raise. Millennial women are seeing the smallest pay gap. On average, those ladies are paid 10% less than their male counterparts.
All right, 6:40 on this Monday, and it's looking like it's going to be a very Monday. Lots of clouds in the sky, but at least we can be glad temperatures are still in the 30s. Patty's going to tell us when that might change, though. That's coming up.
First, though, it is January 14th. We want to say happy birthday to Declan, Hudson, and all the kiddos turning 3 today. Thank you so much for celebrating with us here on News 3 This Morning.
England Patriots are back in the AFC Championship, and that's probably no surprise.
Yeah.
But what might be is one of the referees that made the calls during Saturday's win against the Chargers.
That's right. Sarah Thomas is trending on Twitter this morning for becoming the first woman to ever work an NFL playoff game as an on-field official.
Love
there
this
you have
story.
it, ladies. She became the first full-time female ref in NFL history back in 2015. You can tell there she either has short hair or tucks her hair back. She says she does that under her hat so she can blend in with the other officials.
I love that story.
Yeah.
You go, girl.
Absolutely. That's really cool.
All right, in other sports news this morning, the Bradley Center getting a little closer to coming down for good after crews used explosives to demolish the roof yesterday. Quite the scene in Milwaukee. Work to deconstruct the 30-year-old building started last summer, but this is definitely the most visible the work has been so far. Demolition should be complete by this next summer. Wow, look at that damage left behind. The Bucks say the 7-acre site right next to the $524 million Pfizer Forum is crucial for their development plans.
Okay, and in case you needed a reason to goof off a bit this morning, wow, that was more than I thought we would see. An international celebration of silliness is trending on Twitter this morning. Subway riders around the world participated in the annual No Pants Subway ride yesterday.
Oh, heavens.
The tradition was started by New York City improv group 18 years ago. Riders are supposed to pretend like they're going about their normal day-to-day business, you know, hats, gloves, whatever you need, scarves, just not any pants.
Good morning, Danica.
Not participating in this is our News 3 This Morning crew. That includes me and Leah and Hattie McLean.
I'm all about the pants.
I think we'll keep the pants on.
Yeah.
Didn't think I'd say that this morning, Hats.
Love that they did that in January, because you know they're cold. That has got to be cold. Well, take a look at our temperatures. Speaking of cold, you'll want pants this weekend with temperatures hitting highs only in the 20s and teens by the weekend. It is going to cool down around here. We've had a nice stretch of above normal conditions, but that looks like it's coming to an end as we close out the month of January. Take a look at that 8 to 14 day temperature outlook. That takes us right into the 27th of January. There is a big bullseye of colder than normal temperatures expected for the Great Lakes, southern Wisconsin included. That means about a 60 to 70% chance for below normal temperatures. Now here's a look at the radar map this morning. It's been pretty quiet around here. We missed out on a storm system tracking to our south across Missouri and Illinois and Indiana yesterday and Saturday. Some light snow now in northern Minnesota, getting into the UP and far northern Wisconsin. That's along a weak cold front that will brush the state a little bit later on tonight. We have a chance for a little bit of freezing drizzle. That is it. Right now, though, no delays showing up on the airports in the area. There is some patchy fog as you head to the west, but it's not slowing things down just yet. We'll take a look at the country as a whole and not seeing any delays there either, so that is good news. Now, here's a look at your travel forecast this morning. Travel forecast in Southern California is definitely wet with some rain moving onshore there. Otherwise, through the central part of the country, improving conditions as that storm system moves into the Atlantic. Here for the upper Midwest, 30 in Chicago with some sunshine today. Temperatures will still be in the low 30s here. Future track showing you a lot of clouds in the area today. Our chance for sun is confined mainly to the morning hours. Otherwise, that front keeps the clouds in the area. As it tracks to the south and east, we will see a chance for a little bit of freezing drizzle. Otherwise, relatively quiet conditions. Better chances for sunshine, though, in the forecast head our way towards midweek, especially on Wednesday. Now, temperatures currently are in the 20s in most locations this morning. Notably cooler, though, to the south where that snow is on the ground. Temperatures in the single digits in Decatur, Illinois this morning. Or quite a bit warmer, almost 20 degrees warmer here in Madison with 26 degrees. South winds expected through the day today. They'll be anywhere from 5 to 12 miles per hour, so that'll keep just a little bit of a chill in the air. Our wind chill factor, teens this morning, mid-20s through the afternoon, so not bad for January. Look for clouds this afternoon with highs climbing to 32 in New Glarus, Middleton tops at 33 degrees, 30 in Prairie du Chien, 33 in Muscadet, and 32 in Richland Center today. And to the north, pretty similar numbers on the map, 33 in Mauston, Baraboo tops at 32. Here in Madison, we're looking at high temperatures in the 30s as well, 33 for our high today. Again, a chance for some sun this morning, but then more clouds this afternoon. That extended forecast has sun on Wednesday, and then we'll watch the end of the week with a chance for snow back in the area Friday into Saturday. Take a look at this cutie. Just want to snuggle up with Belle.
Strike a pose, Belle.
Oh, that's a Monday morning hanging out with Belle.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, thank you, Hattie.
You're welcome.
The Morning Sprint's coming up next right here on News 3 This Morning. .6:52, time for the Morning Sprint. We continue our streak of no single-digit temperatures this week. Hattie has a cloudy, mild day ahead.
And Josh Breider is previewing CBS This Morning's conversation with Jamie Klaas's family after she was kidnapped and held against her will for nearly 3 months. But we start in court, where the suspect in that case will be for the first time today. 21-year-old Jake Patterson also faces 2 first-degree murder charges for allegedly killing Jamie's parents the day she was abducted. We also expect a criminal complaint this afternoon with more details about what happened to Jamie and why she was targeted in the first place.
Because it was 19 or 20 degrees outside, and she only had a sweatshirt on and maybe some black leggings, and I thought she was in her slippers. So I figured she left wherever she had been in a hurry. So I quickened my pace and got to her, and she just sort of fell into me and said, "I'm Jamie," and I said, "I know."
You just heard new details from Jeannie Nutter. She's the woman who stumbled upon Jamie while walking her dog Thursday. We're also hearing new details from Jamie's family this morning after her first weekend home in nearly 3 months. They're talking first with CBS This Morning about how she's doing so far. Jamie's aunt Jennifer says she's been getting some pretty good sleep and she's been in exceptionally good spirits, according to Jamie's grandfather. CBS's Gail King will be live in Barron, Wisconsin this morning with the very latest details from Jamie's family and also the dog walker. All those interviews will air on CBS This Morning starting at 7.
Josh, thank you. Highway 12 in Sauk County is back open this morning after an ambulance caught on fire, closing down that road for about 2 hours last night. This happened around 6:40 near the intersection with 136. The ambulance crew was in the process of getting everyone out of that vehicle when help arrived, and shortly after, the entire ambulance went up in flames. Another ambulance transported one of the patients inside to the hospital. We have not heard anything about that person's condition.
And our forecast today is starting with cloudy skies here in Madison. Not able to see any of the sunrise just yet. Here's a look at our current temperatures. Been holding pretty steady over the last couple of hours in the mid-20s in most locations. Temperatures will climb a few degrees today, back into the low 30s with a light southwesterly wind.
Thank you, Hattie. The biggest and deadliest snowstorm of the season is expected to drop even more snow on the D.C. area today after about half a foot fell yesterday. Public schools in that area are canceled for the day. There's at least one flight from Dane County Regional to the nation's capital that's supposed to take off this morning after it was delayed last night. Now, across the mid-Atlantic, that storm is being blamed for at least 9 deaths.
The president's tweeting this morning saying he's been waiting all weekend for Democrats to get to work as a deal to end the longest government shutdown ever seems unlikely. Some Republicans are asking President Trump to reopen the government for the short term, hoping that will create some opportunities for compromise with Democrats when it comes to border security. Meanwhile, the president is expected to sign a bill this week to guarantee back pay for the 800,000 or so federal employees currently furloughed or working without pay.
There are folks that are starting to, having to go to food banks. I know that there are some members who are trying to get unemployment insurance, but there's a whole nightmare because the government is closed, they can't get the paperwork that they need to prove that they're unemployed.
Here in Madison, Carl Hauptman and his coworkers haven't been able to go into work at the USDA Forest Products Lab since the shutdown started. He says not being able to work on multiple projects there alone is frustrating, but now the lack of income means he might have trouble making ends meet.
A federal judge in California has stopped an attempt to weaken part of the Affordable Care Act that guarantees contraception to women. The Trump administration rule would change, that is, allowing employers in 13 states to opt out of providing no-cost birth control. The decision, though, from the California judge comes a day before those new rules were set to go into effect.
In Fitchburg, a Grace Hospice Care is hoping to offset a nursing shortage with help from the community. The American Nursing Association says the shortage of registered nurses is only expected to get worse as baby boomers get older. A Grace calls their volunteers the backbone of their organization, and they're hoping to recruit more of them. You can find more information about volunteer training happening later this afternoon over on channel3000.com.
If you and the family live around the old Oscar Mayer plant here in Madison, there's an opportunity to share some ideas for the future of that area. There are plans to improve transportation there, as well as prioritizing living wage jobs, youth programs, and affordable housing. A public hearing takes place at tonight's Plan Commission meeting.
6:57 your time now. Let's turn it over to Josh Tim with a look at your first alert traffic. Happy Monday, Josh.
Yeah, still moving well on the Beltline this morning. Just the usual crowd beginning to show up on the westbound side. A few brake lights on inbound John Nolan at Olin Avenue heading into the downtown area. Verona Road, you're picking up between Highway PD and the Beltline in both directions, but other main routes heading into the city, they're cruising along at the usual speeds with no crashes or delays. Your first alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Thanks, Josh.
And here's the view from the Edgewater Sky Cam. Looking at the Capitol, no issues with fog here in southern Wisconsin this morning. Temperatures are in the mid-20s with a light south wind. Quite a few clouds expected through the day today with a high of 33 degrees. We do have temps in the 30s for the next couple of days. Our best chance for sunshine looks to be on Wednesday.
Again, our live coverage from Barron starts at 3:30 this afternoon as the man accused of kidnapping Jamie Kloss is in court.